Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel where I share flavor-packed homemade recipes. Today for lunch I prepared something simple yet truly satisfying, king prawns and Pangasius fillets cooked in my own style. Stay with me as I walk you through these delicious seafood dishes step by step. It's going to be a slightly longer video, but I promise it will be worth it. So I started by removing the shell, cleaning the prawns and keeping the spice marination very basic. Just half a tablespoon of turmeric, red chilli powder and salt. Prawns are generally my favorite as they barely take a few minutes to cook, are rich in protein, heart-healthy omega-3 and essential minerals. So I'm mixing all of them nicely and setting it aside for a few minutes. So once the pan gets heated, pour limited amount of oil and fry each prawn for literally 5 seconds on each side. There is something magical about seafood when it meets Indian spices. The aroma, the color, the way it sizzles in hot oil. I'm not going to overcook them, otherwise they might become rubbery. So once they get fried, I'm going to turn them and make sure they are cooked properly on both sides. I keep the marination very simple because prawns already have a natural sweetness. We love having seafood at home, so I keep trying different variations. This is something I make when I want something quick but special. Now that they got perfectly fried, I'm going to remove them and keep them aside. One thing I forgot to mention is that make sure you clean the prawns properly and remove the vein because that really makes a big difference in taste. And always pat them slightly dry before marinating so the spices stick nicely. So while they cook, your kitchen is going to smell amazing. Into the same flavorful oil, I'm adding fennel seeds and black mustard seeds. Once they splutter, they release a beautiful aroma, slightly sweet and slightly nutty. Next goes the onions. So saute it until it gets soft and caramelized. Keep stirring the onions until the raw smell is gone. So you might be thinking, what goes best with prawn masala? So I believe it goes beautifully with jeera rice, plain rice or even roti. As the onions got slightly cooked, I am adding one medium-sized tomato and cook it until it melts into the base. Here the tomatoes need to be cooked properly because this is what makes the gravy thick. Next I'm going to add some flavorful curry leaves and give it a nice stir. To this goes minced ginger garlic and some green chilies or green paprika, which is widely available here. Take your time as this step builds the flavor and add a little amount of water if required. Now I am going to add the minimal spices, half a tablespoon of turmeric, salt as per taste, Kashmiri red chilli powder for color, and half a tablespoon of coriander or Madras curry powder. You can use any one of them. Now stir it patiently and give it some time until it releases oil, and that's when you know it's ready. I'm adding the fried prawns back in and mixing everything gently so that they absorb the rich masala and get coated nicely. Also, don't forget to stir them patiently for a while. Once it's ready, add a little amount of water and let it simmer for just a short time. Finish it with the final touch of coriander leaves, and just like that, a bold, aromatic prawn masala is ready. Garnishing with fresh coriander at the end makes everything smell amazing. So at this stage, you can already imagine how flavorful this is. How nicely the masala is coating the prawns. I believe cooking at home gives you full control over the flavors. Look at that color, so rich and vibrant. The gravy is not too thick, not too watery, but just perfect. If you're looking for more seafood recipes, let me know in the comments. Now I'm moving on to another fish recipe. So I washed the fillets gently and kept them ready. For seasoning, I use tomaten salts. It's basically a tomato seasoning salt made with dried tomato, salt and herbs. It gives a slightly tangy flavor, and I also added some basil to this seasoning. Now in a pan, I am going to add 1 teaspoon of butter and keep the flame low to medium. Spread the butter nicely on all sides so that when you place the fillets, they don't stick. Also, butter and fish is always a good combination. Once the butter gets heated, place the fillets into the pan very carefully. Pangasius is a soft and tender fish, very mild in taste and really easy to cook. It's perfect if you want something light but still high in protein. So let's see what goes into the recipe. So first I'm going to add ginger and garlic, which is the soul of the recipe, because they not only kill the smell but also balance the fat as well as make the fish very tender. Let this simmer, and in the meanwhile add a half sliced carrot and wait patiently for all of this to soften. I love pairing the fish with a lot of veggies, so my next ingredient is blanched spinach. So blanching just means boiling the spinach for 1 to 2 minutes and then putting it into cold water. I did this because it really removes the raw bitterness and makes it ready to soak up all the aromatic oils from the ginger and garlic. Next, add some green chilies for that little heat. You can also replace it with green paprika, and then season again lightly with this spice salt, followed by half a teaspoon of corn flour mixed with water, and you can add it to create a very light coating sauce. As a finishing touch, add a little black pepper on top, followed by salt as per taste. Allow everything to absorb nicely. Then place a slice of lemon over the fish. Let it simmer for a while and then cover the pan and let it cook for about 5 minutes. Once the flavors absorb into the fish, you can finally sprinkle some spring onions. Look how soft and flaky this is. Very light, very simple, but full of flavor. Perfect for a lunch or even a light dinner. This goes really well with rice or even just as it is. Would you try Pangasius this way? So let me know in the comments how you cook your fish. This was our lunch today. Dal or red lentils, cauliflower curry, some rice, butter lemon basil Pangasius, and prawn masala. Finally, here's the simple yet flavorful meal on our plate. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.